Hello, and welcome to Talk, Therapy, Heal, a dynamic and engaging show that endeavors to shatter the many stigmas surrounding mental health and therapy. Talk, Therapy, Heal is a collective of licensed counselors, therapists, and life coaches unique in areas of specialization, expertise, and experience. Through the art of curated, genuine, compassionate conversation, we get to the deep things. We are so excited you chose to begin your healing journey with us. Tune in to Talk, Therapy, Heal. Hello, and welcome to Talk, Therapy, Heal, a dynamic and engaging show where we get to the root of things. Join us this evening for our new episode.
Yes, and we are going to be speaking about tonight burnout. It's real but ugly.
Real
Mm-hmm.
and ugly.
Burnout.
What is burnout?
It's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
A lot of times we look at burnout as just when we feel like we've had enough, we've did too much. But this says that burnout is often driven by long periods of stress without time to recover.
Mm-hmm. Without time to recover. That's the key piece of it.
Yeah.
So no restoration.
Yes.
Wow.
No reset.
I have here, it's not just exhaustion. It's systemic depletion.
Depletion.
Wow.
So no time, you're depleted
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have time to recover.
Mm-hmm.
So then, I guess, what would that physically look like? If you burn out, you don't have any time to recover from it, you've been depleted. What does that look like?
You're weak. Things that you used to be able to do, you probably can't do anymore. So a good example may be an individual that maybe they sustained some type of injury in sports. And so they've healed, but now they're trying to work to get back to their normal capacity. And they're just going. But you know what? I used to work out for 2 hours a day. I'm going to increase that to 4. And you're doing more harm than good because you're overworking those muscles. And then you end up potentially re-injuring yourself again.
I would love to share this. I just did a quick Google search, just since you asked the question of what it could look like. And I never thought it was all of these things, but it says primary physical symptoms of burnout is persistent fatigue. Okay. So chronic exhaustion that does not improve with rest, often accompanied by brain fog and low energy levels. You have muscle tension and pain, which frequently manifests as pain in the neck, the shoulders, and the lower back. Man. Okay, let's keep going. So you have sleep disturbances, so insomnia, difficult staying asleep or oversleeping, which leads to weakened immunity, increased susceptibility to colds, infections, and slower healing.
Illnesses.
Yes, gastrointestinal distress, so changes in appetite, eating too much or too little, nausea, diarrhea, or constipation. I never would have thought of constipation. Okay.
Keeping things in.
You can't get anything out. Your system's
It's disrupted. You've disrupted your system.
That's good. Okay. So cardiovascular changes. So you have chest tightness, palpitations, or increased blood pressure. Then you have headaches or neurological symptoms, tension headaches, dizziness, and chronic pain. And then this is what kind of got me. So other physical symptoms, jaw pain, often from grinding teeth, ringing in the ears, tinnitus, or skin issues. Man.
And that's just physical. Burnout. What all it's an emotional collapse. When you were saying all of that, I just see the body just collapsing.
Yeah.
It is no good. It
No.
does absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
It can't do anything.
I have nothing left to give.
Yes. Oh,
And you know,
Depletion.
yes.
right.
Yes.
And it seems like sometimes when people get to this place, it becomes either like an all or nothing. It's like I can't, like you said, I can't give anymore, so I just quit. And what comes to mind, I don't know if this is connected, but I was having a conversation with Kenya, and what I'm seeing is a lot of people who were considered, as we said, the military workhorses. Those are the ones that's getting it done on the job. Those are the ones that's leaders and all these other things. Pretty much, I see our generation, I'm good. Because you know how people used to want to work themselves to death to move up the corporate ladder. And what that would actually look like would be burnout in a sense that, so say, we're going to say your name is Judy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so we work at the same space. And in reality, I'm doing my job and your job. But you the one that's constantly getting promoted. But they understand that I'm the one that's doing all the work. And so what they will do is if you're absent and you're on leave with your family, I should automatically know how to do your job. But then vice versa, because this is happening in the workplace. Vice versa, if I'm on leave, then, we'll just wait till Shan get back to handle it. So we're putting more on one specific person because we know they can handle it. And that leads to burnout. So now it seems like in the workplace, that's what I say, our generation, you're not going to push me beyond, people getting FMLA. People are doing, because otherwise you end up with severe medical issues, mental distress. You can't even function emotionally, can't even get in contact with your emotions. And then it's like, But the reason why I brought up our generation is because the conversations I'm having, people that I never thought would be like, I'm good. I don't want to be in charge. I'm just coming to work just to work. I didn't come to make friends. You know, it's like you coming in setting boundaries as it is so you won't get burned out. But the powers that be and the systems that set in place is like, no, I need you to keep running for my good.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up from a generational perspective, because depending on the generation that you were born in, you were taught certain things. Baby boomers, they were told to go to work or go to school, get a job, provide for your family, stay 20, 30 years at this company, work your way up, save a little bit on the side. Once you get to a certain age, you're good to go. Then you start getting off from the Generation X. We grabbed some of that, but we wanted a little bit more. So, okay, well, if we're doing all this, when is the benefit going to really be there for us? Now, that newer generation after them is looking at all of that and say, wait a minute. Some of us saw our grandparents and great-grandparents work themselves to the bone, retired at 62 or 65. They was dead at 67. And then my parents were struggling. They worked themselves to the bone, and now I got to take care of them. I'm not working like that.
What when you were saying what you were saying, and as well as you sharing what with physical burnout, the thing that comes to mind is that the body is absorbing what the mind chooses to ignore. So when you feel burned out, like we've talked before about ignoring a lot of different things. Our central nervous system tells us a lot about what we should do, but we choose to ignore it. But when we do that, the body absorbs all of that. So the overworking, the want to do all of the things because what somebody told us we should, that the body is constant. It's like the body is taking blow after blow after blow. And then when it can't anymore, it breaks. It breaks down. There's the emotional collapse and it has nothing else to give.
And, you know, I'll say this. I've been a victim of that. I did that to myself for a number of years in the military. And one thing that we have to understand is a lot of jobs that people get, you have a lot of people in place that's what they look for. They look for that go-to person that they know is going to get it done, and they don't mind riding you. So if they start off and say, we need you to carry 2 rocks, when you carry them 2 rocks well, they go give you 4. When you carry them 4 well, they go give you 8. When you get to 10 and you drop them, then they say, well, we know what that pushing limit is at. And they go keep pushing you at that same limit.
Wow.
So from that physical standpoint, you have to recognize when you have did enough. And sometimes what you have to do is put limits on yourself and put limits on other people and teach them how to respect that so that you don't experience that burnout. Because what happens is if for some reason you just completely fall through, you done. You end up in the hospital. Now at that point, they're ready to move on to the next person.
Yeah.
Wow.
What you got, Miss Larisha?
I was just thinking about the distinction because we just did a show on overwhelm. And so the difference between overwhelm And burnout is, overwhelm is, okay, you have some things that have accumulated. But you're able to come to a place to where um, you're removing
Mm-hmm.
the stimuli. Burnout is over time, because it's a gradual process. Burnout
Mm-hmm.
is a gradual process. And so over time, those things accumulate
Mm-hmm.
and they don't go anywhere. The resolution doesn't come, the restoration doesn't come.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's important to have those two distinctions, but um, just burnout in general, we can have spiritual burnout too.
I was that was one of the other ones I was going to bring up. Absolutely.
There's spiritual burnout. You mentioned in another show, Shan, about striving and then that dangling carrot, right in front of you spiritually. You know what I mean? As you are walking with the Lord and doing all of the things in ministry, that could be perceived as or received as striving, right? But that striving, because you're probably not, and I'm making some generalizations. Y'all work with me here. But the striving can lead to burnout because of the performance piece of it.
Very good.
I agree. I totally agree. That's one of the points that I wrote down was the spiritual burnout along with emotional burnout, but we'll get to that one too. But spiritual, when we talk about spiritual burnout, it can distort our purpose, our faith, and meaning.
Right.
When giving replaces being
Right.
connection fades.
Right.
So when we are so focused on serving in the church and we're serving the pastors or we're serving on some kind of capacity, when all we are concerned with is doing that and not having a connection with God, you can experience burnout.
Absolutely.
Burnout happens because you're not trying to do a thing to please God. You're doing the things to please man. And we know we live in a hustle culture.
Yes.
That praises overextension while shaming rest. We are shamed for wanting to take a break. And if I've heard some people who've worked closely with different pastors and whatnot that have said, they can't take time off or they have to, if the pastor is there, they have to be there. Like, and it's like, well, what about work-life balance? If we ain't what about volunteer balance? Okay. First of all, because it's volunteer work.
Right.
And when did it say, or where does it say in the Bible that you have to constantly keep giving and hustling, if you will, when it comes to relationship? But people are praising the work. Keep pushing to do the work instead of making sure that there's a real true connection, which is why a lot of people are disconnected, which is why burnout is so prevalent. We are totally disconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah, the spiritual burnout, physical, emotional, I mean, it kind of all goes to the same thing. Sometimes we just have to stop.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the analogy that you just used of, having to be there when the pastor is there. I can see this, well, brother, I understand that you say you're tired, but you have a thing that you have to do. God is calling you into this. Isaiah 40:31, they that wait on the Lord. I'm about to go wait.
Come on with the waiting.
And sometimes we have to tell people, you're going to have to wait because there's so much of an expectation that is put on a lot of individuals. And sometimes you have to just stop that and take time for yourself and then be able to move forward. Now, I'm going to tell you when I had a moment. I lost my mind for a minute. Me and this captain got into it when I was in the field at Fort Campbell. Shannon been telling me for the longest, you need to slow down, you need to do this. I'm chasing to try to make 6, 7. I wanted to try to do as much as I can for the soldiers that I have. And this guy kept us, we were in the field. Some things happened that didn't go well in another platoon. He said, everybody will stay up until I finish the meeting with the battalion commander, and then I need to have a meeting with all the NCOs. So he finished the meeting with the battalion commander about 10 o'clock at night, went to bed. We're all up, and it's 4 o'clock in the morning when he decides to have this meeting. And goes off on the details about what they're not doing, this, that, and other. And at the end, he said, now, I hope this is the last time we have to have this conversation. And I hope nobody has to say anything. And the people that know me, I was like, that would be me. Well, Sergeant King, we knew it would be you. And I said, why is that? Well, you've always got something to say. You're always sticking up for the soldier. And I'm going to let you know why we do you the way we do you. And I look, and he says, you made a name for yourself in this battalion, in this brigade, and pretty much across this post. He says, we're going to ride you until we find your breaking point. I said, okay. And I said, sir, with all due respect, you will never, ever see my breaking point. I said, but for me, I can break you with one finger. And everybody looked at me the first time. Sergeant King, no, because you the first sergeant. You should have been handling this, so now I'm going to have to get him. I said, you just made us park vehicles out close to a water protection area, fuel trucks. One switch, one finger, you gone, career. So who's going to break first? They left me alone. It's a boundary. And some people will feel, though, they're your boss, that you're obligated to work yourself in the grave. I'm not obligated to kill myself over you. I'm obligated to come in and do what I said I would do based off of my job description. And that's the bare minimum I have to do. So if I'm getting paid the bare minimum, so guess what I'm going to give you?
Bare minimum. You know, I got somewhere to go. Y'all talking about work in the church. Let's take it on down to the family. Let's take it to the family.
Okay.
So as we're sitting up here speaking about burnout, it made me think about, and I know this is not current events, but it made me think about a certain young lady who her sister was beefing with her online.
Oh, yeah.
Because you should be giving me your coinages.
Interesting.
That part. Look how you be doing those. But the thing that gets me is when I think about burnout too, a lot of us was raised, which you know, I could see it to be truth, that your blood is your everything. You're supposed to be there and da-da-da-da. Even in different countries, I've seen this year.
Oh, yeah.
Where, you know, a lot of people who maybe you've met while serving in the military, you become friends with, they're from a different country. And so they'll work, and they're sending all of this money back home because it's almost like you made it because you're in America, this American dream, whatever they were sold, which they come over here to find out it's a reality. We had someone share that in one of our classes we had in our trainings. But what's happening is people are coming to the point of saying, I'm not sending no money back home. I love you, but it's not my responsibility to take care of you. And I don't know where the shift is happening. I know back in the day, it used to be where parents would be like, especially if like you were the oldest or if you were the one that made it to the NBA, NFL, actress, whatever the case may be, then it's your responsibility to take care of the family. But does anyone ever think about the burden that is placed? Because what that means is I'm steady working, running. You get to be smoking and joking, and all is supposed to be good. But then mama and daddy or whomever, grandparent, caregiver is then upset because you made it. It's your responsibility to take care of your siblings, but we all grown. We can even take it there with the military because a lot of military feel like this. How do I leave, have a whole family, and you tell me it's my responsibility to take care of siblings who could go and join as well? But you don't want them to join because this is your baby, this is whomever, but the sole responsibility is on you, or that one who happened to be the responsible one in the family. Well, you have to understand, Nikki, you're the responsible one. Wait a minute now. And so when you think about it, just think about it from a person's perspective where they're being told by their elders that I have to take care of myself. And let's just say this is the case. I'm 48. My sibling is 52. The other one's 63. They don't want to do nothing. They've been sorry all their life. But you don't put fire under them. So then I'm feeling potentially like a failure because I'm trying to take care of my family, keep my family afloat, keep myself balanced. And then you're telling me I got to take care of, I was about to say Pookie, I got to take care of all of them. Just imagine the heaviness, the burden, the burnout that an individual feel, and they may even feel like a failure. That is so, to me, in my humble opinion, very unrealistic. And I can't even imagine the level of mental health diagnosis that individual is suffering from, because you're supposed to be the workhorse in the family. You're supposed to keep going. Not to even mention going down marriage road as a marriage counselor, that's tearing up your home, because the childlike version of you is remembering what the parents said, and mom and dad may not be here, but I still got to take care of 52-year-old, 66-year-old while I'm trying to put my kids through college.
How many people are struggling with
Yes.
that, or being told something by a parent who is no longer living, but yet they are still trying to live up to that. So what I'm hearing is that burnout bleeds into everything.
Everything.
It does.
Everything.
It does.
Wow.
And you have a lot of people who may just go-getters. They like to work. They like a challenge. But you still have to be careful with that burnout, because sometimes the goals that you are trying to accomplish may not be realistic. And when you don't achieve that, that sucks the life out of you sometimes.
Right.
And I'll just let you know, I know Shannon seen me go through this. When I worked suicide prevention on Fort Hood, there were days I come home and it's just like, what am I even doing this for? Because you're trying everything that you can to help a situation, but you keep getting roadblocks thrown in front of you, but then they keep telling you that you ain't doing your job because people still killing themselves. And when you keep going, I had to get to a point where I had to stop. I can't save everybody on Fort Hood. Just not going to happen. Other things have to be put in place. And the reality is, it's an unrealistic goal to say that you're going to wipe out suicide, because you can't follow everybody around 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I had to learn from myself is that, one, I can't do it all by myself. Two, if I'm not getting support, it's definitely not going to happen. So three, maybe it's time that I just let this thing go and give it over to some other people. That's what I chose to do. Sometimes you have to let that thing go and let it disappear from you so that you don't disappear from the face of the earth.
So what I'm hearing you say is that we need to address lifestyle patterns,
Absolutely.
changes, making sure we're not just looking at symptoms, trying to rectify or feed a symptom. We actually have to do something totally different.
Right.
Absolutely. And not letting, and I know y'all have seen this, not letting people guilt trip you
Right.
into getting past the boundary that you've set,
You're
especially
right.
when it comes to work.
Right.
But you've always did it before. Yeah,
You're so good at it.
Right.
Well, I'm choosing not to do it anymore.
Right. And then they get upset.
Right.
So I'm trying to, as I'm listening to all y'all, I'm trying to rationalize, come to some conclusion in my mind. Is it sometimes that we, even though it may be a choice, but we end up in burnout because we don't want to disappoint those around us, or we allow them to manipulate us and guilt trip us, or like, I know we can stop it, but I guess what I'm trying to figure out, like, why do we keep doing it? Why do we keep pushing ourselves past capacity, which lead to burnout? And then when body shuts down, you get the, I'll come by, I'll help you out. But who's going to be there to take care of you when you done burned out and your body shut down?
We've been indoctrinated to care for everyone beyond or besides ourselves. So think about what we were just talking about with the kid who parent told them to take care of the older siblings or the siblings. You're the strong one. You're fed all of these different things and you're told that this is who you are, and you don't do the work to find out who you truly are. Not to say that you can't be a caregiver and take care of yourself, because two things can be true at the same time. But if you don't have anything to give, that's when it becomes the problem. No one ever talks about, yes, you can help somebody, but also make sure you're good first. That wasn't passed down.
Right.
We were taught to make sure we take care of everybody, which is why people get into this, I got to keep going. I got to keep going. You don't even have anything to give, and yet you're still going. Again, we talked about this in previous shows, where when you're on an airplane and when they tell you about the whole safety thing, you put your mask on first before you help anybody else. Meaning that if you don't have the energy or the wherewithal to put on your mask, how are you going to put somebody else's on? But that's what we've been taught, and we're being shamed for actually making sure we take care of ourselves. We're being told you're selfish. You only think about yourself. You don't love anybody else. When did love equate to me having to take care of you?
Yeah.
That's a
If
good
I don't have it, then how am I going to give it to you? We're talking about burnout. Burnout is depletion, systemic depletion. I don't have anything, so how can I give you anything? But we keep pushing, trying to get through or give somebody something that is just non-existent.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
think it maybe to answer your question, it goes back with awareness, and I don't want to harp on this word, but I'm going to say it again. It's capacity. I think as human beings, our desire is to help and to push and to, you know what I'm saying, perform well and to do all of those things. But in that process, we lose, you know what I'm saying, sight of just being a human. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we don't really understand or fully see that we have limitations,
Absolutely.
you know, on it. When I think of burnout, I think of my soul is depleted.
Yes.
There's nothing left in my soul to give. And when I say soul, spiritually, your mind, your will, emotions, your personality, your intellect, all of that. You know what I'm saying? The heart, you know what I mean? You just have nothing to give. But to counter that, and hopefully I'm not getting ahead of myself, is we need soul rest.
Wow.
Soul
deep.
rest.
Yeah.
With a lot of my clients, they feel the burnout, they feel the overwhelm, they can't quite place it. But they need to have some soul care.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
agree. And some people will try to cover it and say, "Well, I'll take a vacation," and it's more than just a
Yeah, it's
vacation.
not. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, burnout is something that you can't just,
Drop it off.
yeah.
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 Yes, it requires that lifestyle change. Like, if you are to give your soul a rest, that means you have to be so in tune with what you need that you're able to supply that to yourself to actually feed that system. A vacation ain't gonna do that. It's not gonna do that because it's deeper than just covering it up with an external thing like a vacation or taking a day off. I hear so many people, I just need a day off.
Right.
And it never does it.
Yeah,
It never does it for you.
You
Well,
just
you-
sit.
But that's the part of the restoration.
Yes.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, what does restoration look like,
Yes.
you know, to you? And are you restoring those vital pieces,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying, of you, you know what I mean, that may lead to burnout? You know, mind. If you're, you know, thinking thoughts or you're caught in a loop, you know what I mean, that you're a failure or that, you know what I mean, you're not performing as well as you used to, or, you know, what have you. Mind, psychological. If you're caught in that loop, you know what I'm saying, you're going to stay in that loop until, one, you're aware, you know what I mean, that loop is present, but that you seek help.
Yes, you have
You
to
know what I mean?
address it.
Outside of yourself.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Even God rested.
Come on. Come
You know
on.
what I'm saying? And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that God needs restoration, because God is God and He's all of
things.
that. But He even rested, and He modeled that. Jesus even rested, and the Scriptures tells us that, you know, He stole away. He
Steal away into
He went away.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? He distanced himself. And in that time when he distanced himself, he wasn't just like throwing rocks. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It was like
You know
a
what I
little
mean? Or
vacation.
sitting by the Sea of Galilee. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was seeking the Father.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And the Father is what brought the restoration.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean, for him. So I hate to keep getting biblical.
No,
but
because you want
but
some words I
rest,
want to
but
ask
rest
about.
is biblical.
It
Yes.
is.
It's
It
scriptural.
is.
It's
is.
biblical. And
It
it's
is.
something that humans have to realize that we have it, You know what I mean? We have access to it. We just we gotta get it.
We gotta
Yeah,
do it.
I said something in a previous episode where our bodies, our nervous system, central nervous systems were never meant to constantly
That's
be
it.
going.
Right.
That's it.
We are supposed to rest. It's a part of our makeup. If we don't rest, then we burn out. We deplete. We go away. How many people are in the grave right now today because
Yeah.
they failed to
Early.
rest?
Rest.
Yeah. You know, it makes me think about, and I hear myself saying this a lot with my clients. I'll ask them this question, especially when it comes to their marriage, their family, and the pressure of having to take care of other grown adults, their siblings, but not because they can't take care of themselves, if you will. And so I was like, so self-sacrifice. When individuals, you're constantly sacrificing yourself for the sake of whatever. And then, as you were saying, it's like a justification. No, I have to do this because if I don't do it, then no, they're not going to do it. And then it's going to fall on me ultimately to do. So then you're justifying your dysfunction of self-sacrifice. But going back to what you were saying, I remember, I think somebody told this about 2 or 3 years ago, and it was like an aha moment, a great epiphany for me. Because and it's what you were saying as well, even when we were speaking about the last episode of overwhelming, us being taught that you always take care of the external versus the internal. You always take care of everyone else before you take care of you. And so it has to be really foreign for clients when they've heard all their life that no, you're supposed to take, and then you come and see us and we like, no. So boundaries, self-care is not selfish because that's the first thing. So we're having to retrain, I guess you could say, in that area.
Yes.
But what really blew my mind, and I used to hear it all the time growing up in the church, about the overflow, and how and so I don't know what pastor who I was listening to on YouTube that was like, well, you do know when it comes to that, you are supposed to give people of the overflow. You're not supposed to, all you heard is pouring from an empty cup and pour. So it's like, okay, well, we're supposed to exhaust ourselves. We're supposed to get to the point of burnout repeatedly. But what do they say when you do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result?
You crazy.
It's
You crazy.
You crazy. You crazy. You crazy. So that's the thing. And I was like, wait a minute. What? When I heard that, I said, let me rewind it. So you mean to tell me all this doggone time, now it's a lot, because I thought I was doing right, that I'm supposed to give people overflow. You got people that are not paying their electric bill because they feeling like they got to help their sibling who's smoking money away and using them as a personal bank account. Things like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And then if you say no, because that's a complete sentence, because you're not trying to allow yourself to get to a place of being overwhelmed and extreme burnout, then it's something wrong with you. And then you got all the family cackling together like hens, talking about, oh, she ain't think she did it. No, she ain't said no, because she ain't tired. And y'all ain't gonna kill me early. How about that?
Yeah.
So I hope this is helping the people, because I'm sure somebody's listening to this and you are in this space, no matter what your age is.
And I think people have to understand that there's nothing wrong with helping people
At all.
But if you empty your cup out, who's pouring back into you? You can't pour from an empty cup. And so I think for some people, I like to do analogies. Imagine if you've ever been around motorcycles. They do these things called burnouts. You can do them in cars. You put your foot on the brake and on the gas, and you're just sitting there just going. Now look what you're doing. You're putting all that energy into something, but you ain't going nowhere. You burning rubber off your tires. You're burning up gas. You're putting all that excess stress on your engine. And then when something pops or you lose control and there's an accident, oh, I wish I would have never did that burnout.
Yeah, because it's definitely a possibility that you doing that burnout.
Let off that clutch.
And you go flying somewhere.
That's it.
The car go jerking off into something. You might even kill somebody.
So I would challenge the listeners to do this. Now, I'm not trying to get nobody fired. Choose your words wisely, yes. But if you have somebody that's constantly trying to let you get to that point of burnout, just ask them a simple question. If you were flying in a plane and you look down at your gas gauge and it said you only had 50 pounds of fuel left. Are you going to keep going? Or are you going to try to land somewhere? Well, I'm not going to run out of gas. Well, that's where I'm at right now, so I'm going to go land. Thank you. Because you won't kill yourself for all of this. Why would you expect me to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it goes back to what you were saying. Why do people choose to do that? It's because that's what they've been taught.
They've been taught that, and they may be chasing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So let's say I go to school and I become a lawyer. I want to chase being able to get on with a firm, so I've got my name up there at King and Perlow. You chase that and chase that, but then when it doesn't happen, you feel like you've thrown everything away and you wasted all that time. Or you finally get there and something bad happens to you, you never get a chance to enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why a lot of people, burnout-wise, I'm going to go ahead and just say this. I'm going to hit my gavel and say the United States is guilty. Because once again, we said this earlier, they keep pushing the field goal, pushing the mark down the road.
Yeah.
Retire at 60, retire at 62. Now you got to be 65, now 67. Now they want to try to take it to 70.
77.
At what point are people going to be able to enjoy the things that they were working for?
Yeah.
So I was just saying, Shannon and I started this a long time ago. We started traveling. We said we weren't going to stop until we had to stop. Why would you wait until you're 70 years old to try to take a trip and start vacationing? You got more days behind you than you may have ahead of you. And then what good does it really do that you finally taking a trip somewhere outside the company at 70 if you're stuck in a wheelchair? Got a coloscopy bag, got an oxygen tank.
You'll be mad.
Oh, wait.
Mm.
So I want to ask this question as a reflection question to the audience, just for you all to reflect on this. What have you normalized that your system is rejecting?
Oh,
What have you normalized that your system is rejecting?
that's good.
Yeah. I just want to leave
But
with
what do
that.
you mean by system?
So your body.
Your body?
Your body. What are you trying to make normal or tell your body to do when your body is saying, no, I can't do that. I can't do it anymore.
That's good. Because the way I look at that, I look at system in different areas. It could be your body, but it also could be your family system. You're working, trying to do so much, but then your family system is suffering because you're not there. You're not present. You're not giving love. You're not giving attention. Your community. You're burning yourself out trying to say you're going to do something that's going to bring everybody out, but ain't nobody else doing it. You can't do it by yourself. So that system complex is almost like a clock. Every piece in that clock has to be perfectly timed. When one thing is off, everything is off. And you have to look at yourself like a part of that system. If you're not there and fully present and being burnt out, it's going to affect everything else around.
Everything. Everything. That's what we said earlier. Burnout bleeds into everything.
Yeah.
I mean, everything.
Everything.
I was thinking about sometimes we burn out, and I just talk about myself. It's because we don't ask for help.
Oh, that's good.
Yes. Yes.
We don't ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you ask?
Because I don't think you can handle it.
Yeah, I don't think you can handle it. You can't do it like me. You might mess it up.
Yeah.
You may not care enough.
Or I'm just not used to depending on anyone except for myself.
Or that trauma, childhood trauma. I asked for help one time for a teacher and she embarrassed me. I never do it again.
Right.
Yeah.
It's that protective mode, the maladaptive coping mechanisms
That's true.
we incorporate into our lives because we're trying to protect ourselves. You will never hurt me. No one else will get the chance to tell me no. No one else will get the chance to make me feel anything that I don't want to feel. So I'm not going to say anything to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thinking about that, even for myself, of asking for help, I had to learn to ask for help, especially from friends or people, because I would think, well, Nikki, they got their own stuff going on.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be calling them. You call them and talking to them about your stuff. They got their own stuff. I was more worried about them because even in my stuff, I would still show up for them.
Right.
Yep.
Still show up. Again, getting back into that whole idea of making sure I am depleting myself for everyone else except for myself.
Yep.
So I had to learn that it was okay that if they couldn't handle it, they didn't have the capacity for it, they would tell me.
Mm.
They would tell me.
Mhm.
It didn't come overnight. Let me just say that. It
Oh,
did
no.
not come overnight. And I really don't even know if it was an event or something that took place that caused me to change. I think it was more so just me noticing maybe within myself that, okay, Nikki, you need somebody to help you. You can't keep doing this by yourself.
Yeah.
If you keep doing it by yourself, you are going to reach that point of burnout. And I feel like burnout has been a concept that is not new, but newly discussed.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
Right? Because
Mhm.
it was never a topic that people talked about before. You know, nobody ever talked about, girl, you don't do that, you do that, you're gonna be burned out. No, you do it until you can't do it no more, is what we were told or what we were shown. But now you see it a lot more. And I feel like previous times in my life, I've hit that level of burnout and didn't even recognize that I was there.
Right.
And still didn't ask for help.
Mhm.
Thought that I ain't even gonna say I thought
a part of life.
yeah,
This
it
is what
just
happened.
happens. Yeah.
I'm a mom. I'm a soldier.
Yes.
Soldiery.
I
Yes.
gotta do the things.
I take that back. I do realize, I do know when the time actually hit me. I remember it being in November. It ain't even been that long ago. I hit a point of total exhaustion, depletion, and I was trying to push my way through it. And all I could hear was, you better say something. You better say something. And I told my husband, I said, I don't know what's going on with me, but I can't take it. I can't handle whatever is happening. Take me to get help.
Mm-hmm.
Take me to get some help.
Mhm.
He took me to the emergency room, to the VA hospital, and I was able to talk to someone. That's when I figured out, girl, you had it all on top of you when you were trying to handle it all and you couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
It was so much overwhelm of so many things on me that had burned me out, and I was still trying to push through it, still trying to get through it.
Yeah.
And it was like, if I didn't get help that day, I didn't know if I was going to make it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You know what gets me is I was thinking about something that we were speaking about earlier in resting. That it is okay to rest. Give yourself permission to rest. But I feel that, and what I've learned is when you do rest, you sit with yourself, something that many people run from. We spoke about that. But then you learn more about yourself. Because when we are consistently running to the point of burnout, and then people are trying to help, like you said, because they notice it, like, girl, you okay? Because, and I'm good. Like I always say, you a good lie. So you are not good. But when we sit with ourselves, we start to learn ourselves, then we can better articulate to say, no, I'm not good. Because I think in recent conversations that we or when I spoke to my counselor, Miss King, how are you doing today? Or, how's things been going? Not good.
Not good.
Because all this stuff that's going on in the world, and then this, that, and other, like I had to get to the point of stop lying
Yes.
and tell the truth. And then I think as you begin to speak, you hear yourself speak as we work with our clients and do that. And they hear themselves speak. It's like, oh my gosh. But what I love as well is this. It made me think about some friends of ours. And I never knew this about my friend. But when you get to learn yourself, and especially if you marry, you can articulate to your partner. In order for me not to reach burnout, I need to be able to get into bed early. I need to be able to wind down. One of the things I learned about me, and it actually went from childhood trauma, like Kenya was saying, was like our home, it has different levels of lights. Please don't cut on the bright light in the morning because I'm not a morning person. I've never been a morning person. So I learned we got different, cut on the low light. You know what I'm saying? Allow my mind to wake up. And I even learned that about our children. So I don't just be like going in there flicking on the light because that's what my daddy used to do. He's just flick on the light and yell and cuss, get the H up, and then you all like this. Your nervous system is everywhere.
Dysregulated.
Yes. So I had to learn that my husband, baby, like, please, can we just cut on the, not the big light, Well, my good friends, and like I said, I never knew about this. My girlfriend will get up at 3:00 in the morning. We used to work together. She done went to the store. She done came back and cooked a whole Sunday dinner meal, got ready for work, and was at work by 7:30. But sis would be in the bed like 7 o'clock at night. And so I remember when I called, and I didn't know her husband that well at that time. And I was like, hey, do you mind if I speak to so-and-so? And he's like, no. Like, he's a straight cut and dry. We love him. Look, he's like, no. I was like, it's just a minute. If you can wake up, I need to tell her something about work tomorrow. He's like, and I said no. And in my mind, I'm thinking, rude. I said, like, oh my God. Like, just wake her up for a minute. But now that I think about it, in all these years later, and they've been married like 38 something years now. Of course, this is some years ago. And I think about it, I was like, wow, he knew his wife.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what she do. He's not a morning person, but he knows she going to be up at 3 o'clock. She going to walk about 3 or 4 miles. She going to go to the store, cook a Sunday dinner. And by the time they come home, food is already done. We shower, we eat, and we good. But I love the way that he was able to help protect the boundaries of his wife.
Yeah.
So when we get to know ourselves, we can communicate that to our spouses or our friend circle or whomever. And they will even reinforce the boundary to say, child, don't call Nikki after 6 because, baby, she showered and in the bed.
Listen.
Okay? Don't do that.
It's funny because that's what my mom be telling my brothers and everybody. She was like, I don't call Nikki from Tuesday through Thursday because I know she working.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, and then I know she go to bed early, so I'm not going to call her phone. If I need something that's an emergency, she will text.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm like, thank you for respecting my boundaries. Like, thank you for that. Because a lot of people don't like to respect boundaries.
It's all about
Like, look, everybody don't got it like that.
that part.
I'm just
That
saying.
part. Look, I like the way he blinking. I don't know if that means behind the
that.
blinks.
But
Oh,
you know what
I
else?
feel it. I feel it.
Yeah. You know what else is funny as well? Is when other people
God.
recognize your burnout and they talk up for you before you do.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I recently had a
And Will,
emergency room visit
he did.
and went over and was talking to the doctor. Hey, what's going on? What's your pain level like? It's about a 6 or a 7. Doc, that's probably a 9 or a 10 because he minimizes everything. Because I've been conditioned in the military that you never really just put everything out there. Or when you did, well, what's your pain level like? Oh, it's a 6. Are you sure it's not a 4 or 5? Sick call.
Minimize.
So you were taught to minimize. So now I got to start reversing that.
Yeah.
And she was quick to do it because what she's looking at is that, okay, we know you're a go-getter. You're always just trying to go. But I'm going to tell the truth so you can sit your butt down somewhere. Sometimes you have to have somebody else step in for you, especially when you won't or can't do it yourself.
Right.
I agree.
And you know what I think is really amazing too, especially when we look at it from a marriage aspect. So I hope husbands and wives are listening. I tell my husband this all the time because it may be something where he's like, oh, baby, wake me up for whatever. I don't know, some on TV, whatever you want to watch. But because he's a go-getter and I understand that about him, and coupled with the fact that, previous shows we spoke about being veterans and getting rest at night, wherever this man can get some sleep, I'm going to let him sleep. And think about it. Generally, no shade to you, husband, and the husbands. But generally, it is always the wives that be like, be quiet, your daddy's sleeping. Close that door gently, your daddy's sleeping. Don't slam the cabinet, your daddy is sleeping.
But meanwhile, when you sleeping,
What are y'all doing up in there?
he and having wrestling mania with the kids.
Are y'all sword wrestling with the what?
All the pots in the cabinet is being rattled.
Yes.
Hey.
We was just getting her up for breakfast. That's all.
And then leads to burnout. But I love how, and even with that, I think it's amazing too, because like we always share, it teaches the children to, you know what I'm saying? No, it needs to go both ways. Because even the kids be like, daddy's sleeping. We need to be quiet. You know what I'm saying? The whole family. But I wanted to kind of shift just a little bit because I noticed this is one of the things that I've been doing with clients in counseling. And it actually came to mind when I thought about the pandemic. When couldn't nobody go to work because everybody was locked down all around the world. So if you find yourself experiencing burnout, number one, is your home a safe space? Is that a space that when you go outside of your home, dealing with the dysfunctions of the world, you like, ooh, I can't wait to get home. So when I get home, I'm going to take a shower, I'm going to eat, I'm going to kick my feet up. It's a place of peace. And then if it's not, work on it, go to counseling and all the things. But like I tell people, whether you have a home, your home, whether it be apartment, a big house, whatever, do you have a place that's there that's just kind of like your space where you can relax? Because when we couldn't get to the Caribbean Ocean, because that's my place of choice, I love blue water. I remember telling Kenya, because I'm not a decorator like some at this table, I was like, I see something in my head. And baby, I want a water fountain in the bathroom. And he like, what? Just go with me, And what ended up happening is because we couldn't get to the spa to get massages, we replicated our bathroom to feel spa-like. So what do you have that will help you get to your place of peace, relaxation? I've been talking to my clients. I don't know if y'all been doing it too. Frequency. Which is basically spa music. You go to YouTube, because most people would say, oh, that's demonic. Everything demonic. Everything people don't understand, they slap demonic on it. And I'm like, but when you go get a massage, it's the same thing that's playing. And you sleeping, you snoring, you slobbering all over the floor and everything else. So what can you do that you can create within your controls that will relax you, so that a way you won't continuously visit and overextend yourself to the place of burnout?
With that, I want to add, for a lot of people who work from home, don't work all over your house.
Yes.
Get them
That's good.
Have a dedicated space where you work so that you can have a space that you can go to and unwind. But if you work and you get up in the morning and your laptop in your bed, no. You go in your kitchen, your laptop at your countertop. You sit on your couch in front of the TV, your laptop in your lap. Like, do you have any space in your home that is just dedicated for work so that you can create that space for relaxation? That is so important.
It's true.
So
Absolutely.
important.
And I think we have to do a good job, and I know as counselors, we do this a lot, reframing things when it comes to resting. So if we've been taught that if you rest, you're lazy, something ain't getting done. But we have to understand that rest is the way that your body is telling you, or being burnt out is the way your body tells you need to rest.
Right.
It's time for you to take a break, and it's okay. You can start back up again. But what we also have to know is that when you're resting, you're stopping, that's not a sign of lost productivity. That's a sign of recharging so that you can get back to where you was at again. And we don't do a good job of doing that. In the military, you come in, they say, okay, look, you got to do a bare minimum of 30 push-ups to get into basic training. It's fine for everybody. But the minute you get into basic training, what they start seeing, exceeding the standard. We have to accept that it's okay to do the minimum.
To meet it. Just meet it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And the way that you can look at that, you go out on the highway and you see a sign that says 65 miles an hour. Here comes some nut, come flying by you at 85 or 90. And then when you get down to the next red light, y'all both in the same place.
That's true.
Just slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Wow.
What you got, Larisha?
I'm just thinking about that.
That's why we like, look, what you thinking about?
Well, I was thinking about that scripture. It's Matthew 28, Matthew 11, 28 through 30. And it says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." And it says, "Take my yoke upon you and learn of me," not me, but Jesus, right? "For I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." So spiritually speaking, so if we were talking about that spiritual domain, if you needed rest in your spirit, you can take your burdens, right, to Jesus, and that's where you're going to find rest. But how do I take my burdens to Jesus?
Cast your care. Oh, I said that out loud.
I think that's 1 Peter 5 and 7.
Cast your cares.
So literally, when you cast, it's almost like thinking yourself that you're fishing, right? you're casting your pole, right? You're throwing it out there. You're releasing it. I think is the word you used. But you release, right? That burden, that care, that stressor, unto the Lord. How do I release it? You know, give up control.
Right.
Give up control.
That's a big
is
You know what I
word.
mean? Burnout, you know what I mean? In some regards, is because I think we've said it multiple times over. It's because we've taken control of something that is probably not within our control.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we continuously do it, you know, which leads to the burnout, which leads to the depletion.
Right.
Yeah.
But if we could just come to Jesus, right? Because we are weary at times and we are burdened at times, He's going to give, right, the rest.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all. We have come to that time.
It's that
We
time.
have. It's that time.
Yes, it's fast. I'm sorry. But what do you have? What do you have, Larissa?
Well, I was just thinking about 1 Kings chapter 19. Y'all go read that. But it's about Elijah, right? Yeah, Elijah. But it's about Elijah. Long story short, he had been in battle. There was a whole bunch of stuff going on. So there was a lot of stress to the point to where he was burnt out. So in chapter 19, it talks about God giving him rest. It talks about God restoring him. Because Elijah was at the point to where he was like, I just want to die. You know what I mean? Because of all that he had went through. Read chapters, 18, 17, 16. Now, read all that, then you'll get all that. But in chapter 19, it talks about how God restored him. You know what I mean? Food was brought twice, and he was told to sleep. You know what I mean? To get rest. But Elijah, an example in the word about being burnt out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. This has really been good. I mean, really, really been good. Is there any last things that anybody want to say to the people about burnout being real and ugly?
I would say the opposite of burnout is rest.
Burnout for me is like looking at a light bulb that pops. It's burned out. You can't shine and nobody can see you.
Ooh.
Okay, I like that. You got anything, Rich?
No,
Okay.
no.
For me, I say burnout isn't a failure of strength. It's the cost of giving without replenishment.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So we hope that something here that we said tonight really touches your heart, touches your mind, touches your spirit in a way that would help you to understand if you are experiencing burnout in any area, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and that if you are, you will choose to tap into what is needed, what the body is speaking, what is the body communicating to you to do, and receive rest, like to truly rest so that you can be fully replenished. We thank you for joining Talk Therapy Heal. If you are listening to us by way of YouTube or watching us on YouTube, please don't forget to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell. If you are listening via podcast, don't forget to share. Leave us any comments, any questions you all may have on any topic that we have spoken on or anything we may have said tonight. Thank you again for joining us at Talk Therapy Heal. Have a great rest of your night. Bye.